Welcome back to the new Professional StarCraft 2. Let me introduce to you, in the top right, in the red, the best Protoss player outside of Korea and a contender for the best Protoss in the world. It is the mysterious MaxPax. Now, facing off against him, a player with plenty of experience. He's actually played the most games of Professional StarCraft 2 this year, and that's why he's titled, among other things, the final boss. It's Dark. Yes, a best of 5. Protoss versus Zerg. The world versus Korea is the match put on by appropriately the World Team League. I'm looking very much forward to this, as they are both on the bleeding edge of, well, pretty much every matchup you can play with Zerg and with Protoss. So I hope you're looking forward to liking and subscribing. Jimmy, what? What are we at? 1,170 likes on this video, on this cast. And, I'll cast another series. I'll probably do it anyways. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you've had a good day so far. And hopefully... How does he always get the Zergling in? It's about to get a little... Wait, there's more Zerg! That wasn't even the first set. Somehow. Some way. Dark slips through the probes. I don't think he lost any probes. I'd be very surprised. But he drags the Adept back across the map. He gets a confirmation that indeed it is going to be an Oracle, as it so often is. But the variety, honestly, Protoss versus Zerg right now is probably my favorite matchup on the new patch. I think the changes, the nerfs, ooh, wow, slingshotting the shades there in the WLS, the speed zones. I think the changes have successfully stabilized the mid-game somewhat. It can be tough. There's a very thin margin of error for both sides, but probably more towards the Protoss. But with the mid-game more possible, because Banelings no longer can wipe out your mineral line in a single roll. Oracle coming in to save the Adepts on the other side. I think that has allowed, especially players like MaxPax and Hero, to really show off more of that ground-based mid-game, as opposed to just kind of sitting back and praying as they turtle to carriers. I'm not saying that carriers and mother, well now daughter ship, won't make a cameo appearance, but I am saying that it is much more plausible to go for the blink, the charge, the colossi even we're seeing some of, and back them up. A small change that I still keep coming back to is the Stasis Ward vision range. Another one of those kind of ancillary changes that end up, I think, having a significant impact, especially on this matchup, where you end up making not one, not two, but more oracles even. And MaxPax doing so here as well. He's got two, going for the threecles, and adding a Twilight behind. Whereas Dark, sitting back, we're on Salah. Oh my god, the Queen. Brenda! Brenda, simmer down. It's not me, it's the weird green stuff. That is... Anyways, well, I will not simmer. In fact, 35% faster will I march across this map, and you won't stop me, Susan. Yes, obviously you're in front, Brenda. I can't go fast. I'm also a queen. Hashtag Yas queen. Sorry, I blacked out. Whoa, the queen's on the way across the map. And here comes Dark. Oh my. Well, so much for that mid-game I was harping about. Dark is on his way, and with the WLS helping the queens out. What does MaxPax have to defend against this? Just the oracles here, already taking some damage. The queens providing that much-needed anti-air. Sure, they can't transfuse, but will they need to? Well, Void Ray is done. Another shield battery about to complete. Blink just started. Shield battery dead on arrival. Queens trying to make their way forward. The Ravagers, the Lings, and the Roaches busting through. Has to fall back. Down goes... Was that the Void Ray? Yes, the Void Ray went down. There wasn't much to protect it. And the Queens, Roaches, and Ravagers are still busting their way through. Yes, it's like a freight train, but he's stuck on the tracks. The Nexus can't move very fast. That Queen's still going to work. That energy bar fill it up. Not that they can use it right now. Another volley of corrosive bow. MaxPax does have enough like he can lose these probes. The game, well, will be decided by whether or not MaxPax is ever able to stop the bleeding here. And so far, Dark continues the aggression, though it's starting to slow down a bit. A recall in towards the main, a clever move. Slightly out of the vision of Dark. In the dark, if you would. And MaxPax, well, maybe shouldn't be rallying more probes out, but actually maintains a worker lead despite his 10 probe losses. And Dark not pressing the issue. Doesn't want to go through the concave here. And the Oracle's on the other side. Going to burn through, well, get a decent amount of vengeance. Oh, Dark ain't done. And now that he sees the Oracles are on the other side of the map, he no longer needs to worry about them at the front. At least not for now. Oracle's burning through. Another queen. Get more drones. The cyber core was taken out. Quite an important piece of the puzzle. You can't build Stalker shield batteries. And Stalkers just finished their blink. Obviously, he's going to rebuild the cyber core. And Dark, are we just we're gonna pull back and we're just gonna reset. And honestly, I think MaxPax got the better end of this equation. Dark didn't go for the main. He didn't go for the natural. I think coming through that choke point, he realized would be potentially too much damage. And the queens don't work well in tight spaces. But it wasn't quite enough to set MaxPax back. And now he's got 18 Stalkers with Blink. He doesn't have +1. That's halfway there. He's rebuilding. Dark is now slamming the drones into production. And will take the worker lead. But just as he does so, enough Stalkers to be more than a nuisance. That is a deadly number. When combined with the Oracles, there's a very real chance of getting damage done, but he has to be very careful. Because the Oracles need to participate in order for this to happen. And, oh, he blinks over the corrosive bios, essentially determining where he can walk and where he has to blink to. Stasis ward at the back. So Dark slowed down his tech. He slowed down his lair. He slowed down his economy. And he sped up the queens with the speed zones on the way across the map. That means he doesn't really have the ability to attack again for quite a while. Maybe a counterattack. Every once in a while you'll see a Nidus from him. More often than not, really. But MaxPax now with Blink Stalkers and still having the Oracles. The only reason Dark was able to be out on the map was because of the bravery of the queens. But there's no other anti-air at the moment, so the Oracles would be able to burn through a significant amount of the Zerg, at least until the Hydralisks come out. A more and more common staple here for Zerg, once again. MaxPax juggling the Blink Stalkers back and forth. Beautifully done. Taking minimal damage. Dark is creating just a waterfall of corrosive bio, which does not sound like a particularly tasty treat. I guess it depends on who you are, but you. The Blink Stalker's still working through. The choke point working for MaxPax right now because any of the Zerg units that come through have to come into a concave of Stalkers. I'm not sure. I'm sure Dark knows about the danger of stasis. But not sure he actually sees the stasis wards back here. Could throw some corrosive bile. I'm just continually whipping out over and over the rapid fire corrosives. Another snipe. MaxPax doing such a great job. The field, the stasis wards are all over the place. The shop is out of wards at this point. But the Oracles, well, they're also low on energy. Ooh, that volley kind of hit. There's nothing to hold them down. There's nothing to stop the Stalkers from continuing to do this besides the increasing risk of getting surrounded. He covers with a stasis. There's still one more at the back. He didn't see that one. That's the big one. And another one. He covers his own retreat. He may have to recall out, but MaxPax has successfully covered himself with the stasis. And, well, unless he overstays his welcome. Oh, he's got Forticles now. The corrosive. I'm pretty sure he spawns it, but Dark not able to get the pincer move that he was setting up. And where is the infestation pit? There is no hive on the way. Dark is about to max out, but he is on a Roach Hydra army. There are a lot of Hydras, though. 19 Hydralisks. The queens, politely yet firmly, say that that warp prism can go elsewhere. And indeed it will have to. But here comes Dark again. The probes. Zerglings trying to get in. No stasis wards back at home to save the day. 10 probes down immediately. But MaxPax doing some return damage on the other side. The Zealots in the mineral line. The Natural trying to blink up to the high ground, but the Concave is working against MaxPax now. The Corrosive he saves the Roach with the Stasis. I'm sure not exactly intentional, but another blink down. The charge lots coming in, actually a little distracted for a moment, but into the third. Dark at 190 supply, but he's starting to bleed out drones. MaxPax about to finish a Ruptor. The Disruptor might be the only way he can really cut into this bio ball. The Disruptor at the wall. Stasis. He's removing 10, 20, 30 supply from the fight sometimes, but is it going to be enough? Disruptor shot, looking for a connection. Dark micros back, he gets a single Hydra. That's not gonna cut it. Some more Stalkers are going down. MaxPax. The walls are cracking here, and things start to crumble down as the Hydras are gonna come out of stasis. He blunks on the weaker edge of the Zerg army. Is that gonna be enough? The Oracle's getting involved in the fight. They won't last long against the Hydras. The shields are mostly stripped away from the Stalkers. He's backed up against the Nexus. He can't afford to give this one up. He did some good damage. Another Ruptor wanders into the fight, fires off a shot, and gets a decent connection. Dark is starting to run low on supply. That Disruptor needed the hit, and it was just barely enough. The Nexus has tanked a lot of damage, which if it doesn't go down, MaxPax holds. But at what cost? I'm looking at it. 52 to 52 workers. Dark might have another base, but 2-1 upgrades are done, and Archons are warping in. MaxPax has a real good shot here still. He's been on the ragged edge of defeat, but he may be able to claw his way back towards a victory. I honestly, at this point, have no idea. This is so close. This is exactly what I wanted. This mid-game battle. Dark tried to end it early, but MaxPax wasn't having it. Oh my, that one hatchery in the red, but not quite dead. Both sides with bases vulnerable to attack. Long distance mining. Dark has rebuilt a few of his drones. He's at 58 now, enough to get a small income lead. But it's going to come down to control. The Oracles, he's lost 2 of them. He's kept the others alive throughout this fight, throughout this battle. That's not a concave you can fight into. Dark trying to lead the charge. He actually takes out an Archon, but a good stasis there might turn the tides. At least stall things out. Dark is rebuilding. MaxPax defending is one thing, but attacking is a whole nother story. A can of worms, and those worms are spitting needles at you and slithering across the creep. And also, they don't like being called so they don't like that either. Worms, they're called hydralisks, okay? And they're like centipede centaur, which is my favorite description so far. Like centaurpedes. Ugh. You know, I'm back to worms. Well, can he do it again? Dark was, once again, it's a quantity army as opposed to a quality army from Dark here, but he's hitting to the right flank, to the left, a recall onto the Bruise Nexus, away from another one that's relatively fresh. He's deciding to defend the right flank, but Dark, he's everywhere. A Colossus left all alone, taken down easily. Archons are not enough between the critical mass of Roach Hydra and everything else. The Archons are not going to be enough. And just like that, what was a tenuous position for MaxPax crumbles as Dark just hits everywhere at once. I really thought that might turn around, but Dark did not. And that means he will comfortably take game number 1. Honestly, a rocky road there, but it ended decisively. The Queen all in, not so all in. Dark is a master of pulling back at the right time. No matter what the scenario. And that means that he's going to take game 1. He managed to get the Queens back, and with it, he kept his production intact. And that's just a science fact. As we go to equilibrium, 1-0 against MaxPax. Ah, yes. Somebody really needed to turn up. We got the noir filter here. I still don't know what happened to this map. The equilibrium was in making sure the light levels were as close to grayscale as possible. You know, it's not better if you point it out. Now people are gonna notice it. All right, they're gonna actually pay attention to the commentary instead of kind of zoning out and assuming there's a bunch of filler commentary happening at the beginning of game 2. They're not gonna remember to like and subscribe. They're not gonna be noticing that Dark is taking his gold. And well, he wants MaxPax to do something about it. He knows he's going to check. It's not like this is supposed to be hidden, but this is another one of Dark's. Yeah, what are you gonna do about it? Moves that sometimes backfire horribly, but he's more than willing to make them. Especially on the more odd maps in the pool. I have no idea. Occasionally he just dies to a simple, like, adept laves all in or something. I wonder if MaxPax is even gonna care. The gold base with the about 40, well, the key to the gold and the rich Vespine here, which also is added onto it, is not so much it gives you more income, but it gives you the same level of income as a fully saturated blue and green base. But, you know, I just noticed the rarities here. Okay, maybe I'm just playing too many RPG-style games, but green and blue, you know, common, uncommon, but purple and gold, or orangish gold, obviously epic and legendary, just like Dark. MaxPax building a stalker, adds on the Stargate, not going to be baited into some weird gateway all-in, no sort of 4-gate or anything like that, but instead sticking with his guns, even if his guns are very fancy flying disco balls that occasionally light up for a significant energy cost. That's a lot of Zerglings kind of closing in across. I don't know, like, is there a convention or something? Yes, and they're convening inside the Protoss base. Dark is trying to subvert expectations and using the gold base to do it a bit. I mean, the part of this is the gold at work. But Dark is doing a mass Zergling attack. I think MaxPax is aware that shenanigans are afoot. Yeah. He may have seen this before. It seems a bit, well, rarely do you see this map, but is the Oracle done? It's being chrono boosted. Oh, they'll expect one of us in the wreckage, brother. Why can't we invent doors? The Terrans have them. Those brutes. They call Protoss the gatekeepers, but it's not for the reason you think. Well, that didn't work. Now Dark, well, he has the gold, but he didn't even have a third hatchery very quickly. So, his attempt at a off-tempo timing there is shut down by MaxPax's comfortable and collected defense. Oracle heads across. Sees the third. Goes for the light. He builds drones to make it that much harder to kill. Eggs have more HP and armor. I don't think armor matters. Then the larva. A Twilight is on the way. And notably no forge. Notably no robotics facility. So he's gonna go DTs. He's adding a third gas. But only a third, not a fourth. Glaives. Alright. It is Glaives. Not a bad choice against someone you know is going to have a relatively limited economy. It's unlikely to follow up with Roaches too quickly as well. As Dark, you make Zerglings early off of just 2 hatcheries. But believe it or not, the Zerglings, and this is true, are not drones. Yes. So every set of Zerglings you make is 1 drone, unbuilt. Dark trying to remedy that now, but Oracle has enough energy to pretend. Yeah, he'll go for it. Gonna get a drone. Takes a hit. But still, mostly close to full HP, the Oracles. Alright. Baneling Nest. You got 2 hatcheries on the way for Doc. Plus 1 melee as well. But none of those things are done. He's got a lot in the mail, but it hasn't been delivered. And without it, the resonating glaives are nearly complete. It's not like MaxPax is hurting economically either. This is not all in. It's just a lot of potential damage. If Dark doesn't defend this near perfectly, and even if he defends it perfectly, it may be too costly. We'll have to see. The Glaive of the Depths. 1 Oracle knocked out, but the Adepts easily cleaved through the Zerglings. Already some drone kills. Gets behind the mineral line, shades in. And the Zerglings, they're about to finish +1. Nothing happened at the gold. More Adepts jammed up against the spawning pool. Return from whence you came, he says to the Zerglings. Zerglings don't understand it, because they're Zerglings. But MaxPax chasing down the... And it's too much. It's terrible, terrible damage. I don't think so. I mean, Dark will clean this up, but at such cost. Brenda! No! Off a creep here, hunting down the queen. The Zerglings. He's already killed 66 of them. It's a sign of something. Dark is gonna have to do a massive counterattack. He's got 1,000 gas in the bank and no easy way to use it. If he could get a spire... But the thing is, MaxPax is at 62... workers. He's got 62 probes. He's got a great setup at the 3rd. He crosses those T's, dots those I's, and puts those stalkers on hold position in much the way Hero often doesn't, especially against Dark. $30 more Zerglings on the way. Dark is once again in the Platinum League Zerg. He's stuck with the first, second, and only strategy for Platinum League Zergs. Holding down the Z key. Well, his only chance is to make so many Zerglings he catches MaxPax off guard. But the thing is, MaxPax, he has 8 gates. He has plenty of economy. The Oracle, there's still 1. There's 100 Zerglings on the field. Dark, well, you gotta give him credit for trying. I'm not optimistic. Well, there are some Adepts to back it up, though. The Glaive Adepts still slicing through the Zerglings at the same rate. It's just the Zerglings do more damage if they can actually get close. Ghetto blinking back the Stalkers. Blinks over to the side. And it actually, is he succeeding? The Banelings don't do enough. Warping in more Adepts. Just out of range of the Queens here. And honestly, I think MaxPax a bit surprised by the sheer number of Zerglings. But he has enough economy and production that Dark should not be able to overrun it. +2 melees on the way. Of course, that upgrade helps. The Zerglings trying their best. Honestly, getting a lot done, but the Adepts are just better. Well, that's about as good of a fight as you're gonna get here. Unlikely MaxPax will allow anything close to a full surround. The Banelings are coming in. The supplies. MaxPax at nearly double. He's inside the main now. Yeah, the Banelings. Yeah. And that's gonna be that. This time around, MaxPax turns it. Dark tries his silly all-in. MaxPax bats it away. Honestly, not a bad idea. I like how it makes a lot of sense when you think about it, the gold base into mass Zergling play. But it's also not what you expect when you see someone rushing a gold base. You think, oh, they're gonna rush tech. They're gonna go full macro. They're gonna have so much economy. But Dark is like, I'm gonna have so many Zerglings. Which, I can appreciate that. But MaxPax did not. And that brings us all tied up to game number 3. All right. Alcyone. We should, well, return to something resembling normalcy here. It is it's mostly standard map, besides the mineral walls on the right side that block out some of the bases otherwise. And there's a couple gold bases in there with a little set of rocks, which can also be opened up. Oh, there's some interesting bits. We've already seen some kind of confusing games on this map. Not as much so as Equilibrium or Radicet Station, but it can lead to base trades quite easily because there's no really... Okay. Let's do a complete thought for once. So, because of the separate bases on the outsides and how far on the ground, essentially the travel distance between each side of the map, a lot of the time you find yourself with an army, say, outside your fourth. They have an army outside their fourth. They went the other way. And you send your army across the map. It just ends up going a different lane than your opponent. There's no real reason to go for the center except for the watchtower. But otherwise, it's not really near any key bases and can easily be circumvented. And that leads to those kind of base tradey style maps sometimes. Especially because of all the sets of rocks and mineral walls and all that are already kind of constricting movement. I'm not saying it's gonna... Hey, we very well could just have another Adept or Ling flood here. But I doubt it. Adept sent out. Stargate. The Stargate, every once in a while we'll see a Void Ray, an Oracle, Phoenix, but the Oracle, just too many options. You got the damage, you have Revelation, Stasis has obviously played a massive part. It's everything you want in one convenient, if expensive, package. So, mastering the Oracle is your trip, or your stepping stone to Grandmaster. I was trying to come up with something that sounded all philosophical with the Oracle and like Revelation or something like that, but ran out pretty quickly. Didn't have enough energy for it. Well, Zerglings get one Adept in combination with the Queen. Not a bad start. Makes things a little less dangerous as time goes on. The Stalker chasing an Overlord out of the main. How much did Dark see? He didn't see the Stargate, but in this matchup, the Stargate is nearly implied. The Oracle's about to pop out. He should pop out just barely in time. Oh. Ooh. So close. Yeah, MaxPax may have to bring the Oracle over, which is a bit annoying. That probe coming back out. Wow. So there's no way to actually attack this on the ground. MaxPax is not adding more Oracles on. He gets the... What's it going to be, MaxPax? It's something. He's adding another Oracle. I thought this was like a big brain strategy here, but he's actually just building more Oracles. He just got a little distracted there. I thought he was going to do like a... I don't know, like... I don't even know what I thought. It was going to be something dramatic. Like a fleet beacon. It's still on the table, but there's already a Twilight. This pylon placement has gotten more popular. Yes, it does wall off some of your mining, but it makes it very difficult for Zerglings to get through. And probes are pretty smart. These aren't Brood War probes, which will trip over their own tails. They kind of look like they have tails on Brood War. Just getting to and from the minerals on their own. Oh God! Brenda! Are we doing this again? It worked last time. Yes, technically, but I don't think you can attribute victory to our push individually. In fact, I would say it was more the follow-up. Shut up, Lucille! Sorry, I blacked out for a second. Well, here we go again. Nothing about all those silly... Well, those pylon placements may actually make a huge difference here, and cannons are on the way. MaxPax must have... Well, he got the forge. Rarely do we see a cannon-based defense. But here... Well, knocking down the force field. Shield battery overcharge to start things off. Actually traps one of the queens. Pretty big pick-off there. And the natural. Will it hold? Those Zerglings trying to get in. This is... The Oracles must live. He's gonna lose one. The Queen's angrily targeting it down. The cannon's helping out, adding a lot more damage than you usually have with this. Knocks down another one. There is no blink on the way. He invested in the cannons here. A Void Ray about to pop out. Only 4 queens. They can't be transfused. There's no creep around, much to their dismay. The Oracles are nearly out of energy. A force field thrown out, the last thing the sentry can do before it dies. He's just trying to spend his money on something to attack. No more cannons here, but the army's starting to thin out. The Void Ray is only halfway. God, the Void Ray takes so long to finish. A Void Ray feels like it's been building for 16 years. But we're not talking about MaxPax's age. He's like 3 years older than me now. I don't... The Nexus taking a lot of damage. But the Void Ray comes out. He's not going to save the Nexus. Dark actually powers through. MaxPax taps it out. I mean, honestly, maybe... Dark is already building a lair. The Evo chamber behind it. It's not going to be easy. We saw that last game. And very importantly, unlike in game 1, there's not 18 Blink Stalkers. Okay, there's not going to be enough units to put pressure on Dark. He was banking with all those cannons. Another reason, like, cannons are the illusion of security, as opposed to a counter in of themselves. As the cannons, you sunk the minerals into it. They can't come across the map and help you fight. They cost as much as a gateway. If you can hold on to them, great, but with the corrosive biles, they're easily taken down by the Ravagers. And Dark, while it looked a little tougher, he actually did deadly damage there because of MaxPax's investment. Not in the future, but in defense, and he failed. Dark again. Walks the queens. And the queens, this time, directly achieve victory. And game 4. Nope, Jimmy. 1 for Max. Thank you. Well, Hecate. My favorite map for the new pool. Mostly based on looks. It just looks amazing. Balances out. The balanced equilibrium. Another quick game. Back to back here. Let's see if MaxPax brings something out. It's actually MaxPax who has stuck with essentially the same build. He's built off of it, but Oracles into Twilight has been the path throughout all of the games so far. Though it is pretty set in stone at the moment. Even though the mid to late game can get a bit more varied, the opener, well, much like in Protoss versus Terran, where Blink and Robo is the vast majority of openers. Occasionally we'll try Stargate, but it depends on if you want to play Minesweeper or not. MaxPax, and it's kind of crazy how it feels like quickly. It probably wasn't that quickly. I mean, especially since the last 3 or 4 years have felt like 10, but MaxPax has gone from a player who we only knew because of the MaxPax build to one of the new hyper-aggressive top-tier micro Protoss, and then transition into one of the most solid shield Protoss, if not the most solid in the world. He still has that killer instinct of a very aggressive player, but at the same time, he can hang, like, he's hanging better with Dark in a macro game than Hero on frequent occasion. And Hero is essentially... So, fun fact, before the patch, throughout the... I don't know if it was the entire year or 3 months, Dark played around 40 Protoss versus Zerg matches. Against players who weren't Hero, he went 20-0. Yes, 100% win rate. Up until the newest patch. That includes MaxPax. Hero, he actually lost more, I think it was like 8-10 or something around there against Hero. But MaxPax has been putting him through his paces on the newest patch. With a overall nerf, I think, to Zerg. Though Dark is kind of circumventing it, not using a single one of the units that got nerfed. No Banelings, no Infestors, but instead, I guess some Hydras. Hydras did get buffed, I'd say, overall. Just getting their upgrades a little quicker, not the high unit themselves. But, by the way, Void Ray first. Something a little different here. MaxPax making sure he has that option early. Now, as you can see, the Void Ray not nearly as efficient at killing drones, but its key component is, 1, it can hit air, so it can take out the Overlords. 2, not based on energy, so it doesn't run out mid-fight. Like was so devastating to MaxPax in the previous game. Oh my god. Alright, well, it's a Dark game. What you don't know can kill you. If you don't see it coming, it's probably Dark. The Nidus is on the way. Dark is not looking for any sort of silly end game here. He's looking to end the game all right. It's a Nidus all in. Breaking it out in game 4. Getting the queens across Express Chauffeur. The Warp Gate of Zerg. But MaxPax with a Void Ray out. Did he see the Nidus? He might be suspicious. Did not get the Nidus started. Starts one on the outside. I think MaxPax is, he didn't see the Nidus network, but he saw the lair and he seen no roaches. He finds it. He finds it. It's going to finish, but the queens can't pop out in time. Just a little too late to try to transfuse, and even then, probably not worth it. More pylons, and in fact, MaxPax may have started this. Stopped this before it started. The Void Ray, did he see it? He saw it technically, he's not looking at it. Shield battery overcharge holding the line though. Oh, it's a bit late. The queens have popped out, but he's already killed over a dozen Zerglings. Another Nidus. Void Ray doesn't target it, the queens are popping out. He's got the creep on the low ground here. Dark, retreats back. Void Ray burns through another Nidus. And the queens, nope. It ain't it. They go on home. A little bit of creep there. But Revelation takes care of it. MaxPax, I think he anticipated the Nidus. I'm actually a little surprised Dark went for it with the Void Ray on the field, but Dark probably planned on a Nidus from the start, and it's not going to be deterred by some silly unit that got an expansion named after it. Oracle's headed across the map now. And we got an infest. Was that a double Roach Warren? I think he canceled it and rebuilt an evolution chamber. But overall, MaxPax? Well, Dark still has a great economy, as he always does. Even despite going for some big all-in. MaxPax was some workers ahead for a bit there, but Dark is caught up quickly. Infestor's on the way. And indeed, it looks like this will even out, but MaxPax is headed across the map. He's about to have +1 ground weapons. He has plenty of air here. Those Infestors popping out with a fungal. Could be the difference between getting chipped down to size and, oh my god, he missed the fungal. The blink over the top of the stasis lings. MaxPax slips away before the Infestor can do anything about it. Rumble Bay's on the way. 4th base from MaxPax. He's playing He's playing so well. Roach horn a bit exposed there. Not that... Well, does he have roach speed? No, he doesn't even have any roaches. Building some Ravagers, I guess. Roaches just the Ravager eggs. Much like Hydras for a long time were just Lurker eggs. More roaches on the way. Has a Nidus. Gonna try to pop it somewhere. Does Dark realize how much he has in the Nidus? He has an Infestor in there. So... that's actually a kind of a big deal. Ideally, you don't have an Infestor stuck in your Nidus. Dark. Card lots trading well with the Zerglings. They do great against unupgraded Zerglings. Only takes 2 swipes to kill them instead of 3. The Void Ray. War Prism headed towards the main. Dark. Did he find him in the Nidus? No, he still has... It's an Infestor, a couple Roaches, and a handful of Lings. But the Infestor's the key point here. Some Roaches in the main to zone out. Roach speed isn't done, but he's already got him in position to deal with it. MaxPax just backs off. He's got a Colossus and a Ruptor on the way. He's making his mixed bag of Protoss. Honestly, a combination can work out, as you have the Colossi to clear off the Zerglings, and then the Disruptors to break up the Roaches and Ravagers. They're also not too bad against the Lurkers either. Lurker down on the way, but a fleet beacon is already being produced. MaxPax on the ball here, as he's preempting Dark's tech. Instead of trying to force the issue into a fight that, you know, maybe 60-40 goes his way. Wants to... Oh, he blinks out of the fungo. Unfortunately, the Colossus cannot blink, and the Stalker's kind of abandoned it there. So, does lose the Colossus, though he doesn't need it too much against this army. Charge lots into the main. Charge lots in the 3rd. Oh, fungo comes out. Another one. Doesn't do too much. Only 25 damage overall, but that isn't enough to stop the Stalkers. Hydras. One Hydra. Some Queens. And it's enough damage. Knocks down the Prism. Dark is knocking out the options of MaxPax, and now suddenly they're both maxed out. Oh, Disruptor! Ooh. That kind of connection, you know what I'm saying. Well, another Ruptor shot. Colossus suddenly finding itself with a lot to shoot at in very little time. Another stasis. The Disruptors will be caught and killed. A Colossus is brought down. Another Ruptor wander. Oh, nope. Moving on. Right past the Ursadag there. And the Daughter Ship is on the way. Now a little quicker to build, a little less expensive. Oh, honestly, this makes sense. Since he's up against no air here, the Mothership, and no Vipers that I can see. Kind of surprised no Vipers, despite seeing so many Rumble Bay units, but there's not much to bring it down. And Time Warp, the Cloaking Field, there are a lot of good options. I think the Mothership could definitely be worth its significant, if somewhat slimmed down, weight in this scenario. Up against someone who already knows you're switching to Sky Toss or is preparing for carriers, not so much. But the Mothership is kind of awkwardly a timing unit. You know, very much could work out. MaxPax definitely has the edge here. Dark has clawed his way back into games like this before, but very simply, MaxPax has the economy, he has the upgrades, he has the unit composition. He's also moving across the map, which means Dark has 0 mistakes to make. And even if he doesn't make any significant ones, there's a good chance this siege can break through. The carrier's on the back line. There's no Spire here to deal with it. The Infestors have arrived. Where's the Mothership? I actually don't know where it went. I think it's heading across the map now. Disruptors continuing to zone out. The carriers chipping away. They're being knocked down themselves, but MaxPax can easily replace them. He doesn't have any air weapons, but corrosive bombs actually landing, getting some real damage on the carriers. More interceptors knocked out of the sky. Mothership heading north. I think Dark spotted it. What can he do about it? Yanks in a carrier. Almost gets it with the spore crawlers. Mothership just casually strolling by. It's so disappointing. It doesn't even one-shot drones. Oh my god. But Queens are funny. He wants to recall into the main. Clearly. He's going to teleport into the main. And the Mothership may go down immediately, but a time warp on top of the lurkers. More corrosive biles somehow misses the Mothership, the largest target in the game. But it doesn't matter. MaxPax just has too much. There's not enough anti-air on the field. MaxPax, a bit of a casual dunk there with the Mothership. I don't think it was really necessary, but it ends up working out just fine. And MaxPax ties up the series 2-2. Well played. Preemptive defense against the Nidus. The Void Ray working out great. I think he's been Nidus on that map before. But mixing it in. And now Dark. Well, I think the momentum has shifted back towards MaxPax. But it's Dark, so... Just when you think you got him cornered, that's when you realize he's been behind you the entire time. Game 5. The last one. Well, assuming we don't have a draw. In which case, it would still technically be Game 5. It happens so rarely, I don't think there's really a terminology for it. It's like Game 5, Volume 2. The remix. Well, the regame, but... Alright, a drone. Dark clearly doesn't want to take... Oh my god. He sold him. He held with the drone at the top of the ramp. MaxPax got bamboozled. Dark. The little mind game there, but... Satisfying to see. Honestly, it's kind of a... It's definitely a gamble. Some players will build the pylon. That happens so rarely, though, nowadays, that Protoss for many years would build a pylon, go check the other bases, and then come back and cancel the pylon. But it's so rare that players will even bother trying something like that, because you lose mining time. But what's mining time to Dark? Okay. He mines his time very well. Playing more professional StarCraft. I'm not 100% sure that stat is accurate, but it feels accurate. I know he's in the top 3. It's really between Cure, Dark, and either Hero or MaxPax, really, at this point. The thing is, there's a lot of Koreans at the Korean StarCraft 2 League and the GSL. And the fact that MaxPax is actually Dark on another computer, so doesn't participate in LAN tournaments. So definitely not MaxPax. But I think Hero, Cure, and Beyond are the top 3. The trifecta. Well, not Beyond. Dark. Anyways, Dark has played a lot of games. That's what I'm trying to say here. But they're all so enjoyable. So, like and subscribe. We made it to the ace match. I wasn't sure after Dark managed to turn around game 1 like that, but... which would have been a little early to call it, but I'm not a pro gamer, so I didn't. That is one of my pet peeves as well, is while you may think the game is over, ever watched Home Story Cup or something like that? If both players play perfectly from this position, then certainly one player should win, player A. But, like, there's still like a 30 to 50% chance player B doesn't play perfect. And that's how you get the most entertaining games. So instead of saying the game is pretty much over now, how about the game is getting interesting? All right, it's all about phrasing, it's about commentary, it's about words. And while here in the great United States of America, we might not have very many top-tier StarCraft 2 players. What we do have are the best words and commentary, so arguably. I can subscribe. Void Ray. Down with the Dutch. You didn't hear from me. Region lock the Netherlands from YouTube. Alright, they're working on it. MaxPax burns through another Overlord. I wouldn't be surprised. He just starts the Void Ray standard against Dark now. Does make a lot of sense. Against many of Dark's more, forward openers. Even against the Queen push. It's not a horrible idea. Especially if you can delay the creep early. Void Ray flies or glides off. I think we're technically underwater here. So beautiful. Twilight and Forge. Oracle comes in. Revelates. Yeah, Revelate. It works. Twilight and Forge behind. Couple more gates. So it's like MaxPax. Where's the blink? Is it blink? Are we gonna see one of those Templar builds? So you got +1 on the way. Dark goes straight towards Hydras, which is a bit of a gamble that this is indeed blink. The Hydras don't work out as well against like Archon or even Storm Rush. They're not horrible. But Hydras and Zerglings are quite an efficient combo against Blink Stalkers. Of course, it comes down to timing, numbers, grit. No, probably not really that. I just wanted to add something that sounded dramatic, but it didn't really work out. Upgrades, that would have worked. Not as dramatic, though. That one's pretty obvious. Robo's on the way. MaxPax playing it straight and narrow here. Yet again, MaxPax really turning into quite a shield toss. For better or worse. I think better in the long run. But if you become too predictable, well then, Dark will take advantage of it. And I think he has a bit this game. Did MaxPax spotted the Hydra deck? He's actually pre-building cannons. Which is he's expecting a timing, but Dark is not committing. He's got a 4th base on the way. He's building a lot of Hydras. Yeah, he is going. Okay, MaxPax is right. I'm wrong. Though I haven't committed yet myself. But now Dark built enough Hydras to be incredibly dangerous. But at the same time, he's just getting the 4th. He's getting some more drones. Just a couple. But he's working off the idea he's going to go for this Hydra. Zergling kind of all in. And taking advantage of it to try to get his tech out. Of course, MaxPax is constantly scanning. He's got the oracles. So that's most of the value of the oracles at this stage, is constantly scouting. And Revelation for lurkers certainly doesn't hurt. I guess that counts under scout. That's under the scouting umbrella. But yeah, Lurker Den, alongside the Infestation Pit, the clearest hive since the one that Dark started, right? Meow. There you go. The Hydras and Lings, though, working on the 4th. If he could actually just... Whoa! 1, 2, pops the oracles out of the sky, going straight for the Nexus, and he gets away with it. Oh, MaxPax was setting up a pretty solid defense. But Dark just darts in, grabs both oracles and a Nexus, and gets away with it. Ah, that hurts. Like, MaxPax did nothing in return. He's sitting back and he's building Colossi. Like, you can't really attack in the Hydras with Blink Stalkers. It's not going to work out. Not on even economies. Not with that many Hydras already on the field. But losing the oracles, well, he's got no eyes in the dark. Or on the dark. Or even around the dark. So he's going to move forward and toe the waters here. Looks like a lurker drop, potentially. Well. What he doesn't know definitely can hurt him. MaxPax is he knows. There's something out there. Oh, down goes the observer. He's building 2 at a time right now. I think. Therefore I am. And also, he's got strong suspicions of these lurkers. I think he spotted some eggs there. No vision. Unfortunately, Seismic Spines is halfway down that lurker range. But Dark has lurkers everywhere. And until those observers make their way across, he just can't deal with them. And the lurkers are fully revealed now. He knows he's dealing with them. There's a lurker drop headed out. Whoa. Well, the Colossi stepping to and fro, dancing around. Dark is holding strong. Are there any Vipers? No Vipers, but 15 lurkers, though. +2 ground weapons. MaxPax might be nearly maxed out, but has he packed the right units for this? Is he ready to deal with the lurk? Like, even 2 lurkers into the mineral line. The probe's on the run. Pops up 1. He's not quite done. The lurker's on the run. Hydras, Lings, lurkers to the north. The Spylon will actually deal with it, but another lurker into the main. 10 probes down. The tally is counting. MaxPax has been going back and forth at the front. Going to and fro with the Colossi, getting nothing done for quite a while. MaxPax back at home. He's lost 19 probes. He's bleeding out. You just can't get anything. The Colossi are not going to cut it. Down goes the 3rd. The lurker finally taken out of the main. 23 probes. The Zerglings are inside the house. MaxPax's army. He got a hatchery. But the problem's at home. Dark has just dismantled him. If MaxPax doesn't deal with this cleanly here, the rest of the lurkers are headed up. Yes, he blunks onto the lurkers. The shield's stripped away, but another Nexus going to be eviscerated. Oh, he backs off. Just lurkers on their own can be killed. MaxPax has been playing a patient series, but I might argue that was too patient. He sat back. He was waiting for Dark to make a mistake, and Dark just never committed. He just went around him. He gave up a base in order to get all that damage done. MaxPax's army supply is pretty massive here. He's got 128. He's down to 45 in the way of probes. Charge launch from the north side. MaxPax does have a much larger army. It's just ill-suited to deal with the lurkers. Charge may find a few more drones. The Colossi are... They're really sticking out like a series of sore thumbs here. The Vipers are out. It's not over yet. I made fun of pro players for calling it. And right now it's another... MaxPax has plenty of army. It's just... Colossus Stalker does not deal well with the lurkers. And, oh, he sees it. He sees the Nidus in the main. The reprise. He says it didn't work last time. But try and stop me now. The revenge of the lurkers. 4 observers so we can see his Colossus getting absolutely shredded. Dark is in the main. Dark is in the 4th. The Disruptors fire at point blank. The Zerglings every which way. The Queens pop out. Brenda will have her revenge. And Dark is everywhere. The light is being snuffed out, and with it the Protoss. Dark just unhands MaxPax in the final match. The final boss. Proving his name as once again we go the distance, and once again Dark crosses the finish line. MaxPax played a great series, but I think he just kind of tripped over his own feet. Colossi, with those massive legs, it's not hard to do. And Dark used all of the information against him in order to achieve a decisive victory in such a close match. So fun to watch. A tough match for MaxPax, but Dark is your victor, 3-2. I hope you enjoyed. If you have the means and motivation, it'd be awesome to check out Patreon, YouTube membership, either way. Like, subscribe, check out WTL in the description, Jimmy, put it there. I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Hope I made your day a little bit better. Good luck and fun. Stay chill.